Hi, my name's Benmo and I've got chronic fatigue syndrome. Today I'm going to be talking a bit about how I'm trying to make a living despite having this chronic illness. But first, there's some interesting things going on in my studio. Let's go and have a look. If you're going to stab yourself, just let me know and I'll get it on camera.
Okay.
Oh yeah!
Really
Yeah. Hello. My name is Benmo, if you don't know that already, and I'm an artist, and my big mission is that I'm trying to make a living in spite of the fact that I am struggling with chronic fatigue syndrome, or ME. I wanted to give you a bit of an update on this because over the summer I've had quite a bad flare-up of my health following an exhibition that I did in July, and I've been struggling a bit ever since then, and it's really made me reflect that perhaps whilst making art is really good for my health, the whole business of trying to sell art is quite intense and quite tiring. Nothing more so than doing exhibitions. So I'm trying to think about where next. If exhibitions are out for the time being, what am I thinking? Well, the door that I've pushed on a couple of times this summer and seems to be ready to swing open is doing some more teaching. Over the summer I've done a couple of classes teaching printmaking here in the studio, and I've both really enjoyed it and also not been really knocked out by it. So I'd really like to try and do more of that. And basically I'm excited about this because I think whilst it's not without its challenges from a health perspective, it isn't as daunting as a huge event like an exhibition. This actually feels a lot more manageable. And the more I think about it, the more I feel like if I'm going to develop a teaching practice, I really want to develop it very much in accordance with what's allowed me to be well with my art. I want to be thinking about making it a really calm, welcoming environment, very low stress, and also quite kind of cozy and relaxing. I'm thinking pots of tea, I'm thinking log burner going, I'm thinking just helping people to really get into making art and enjoying it. So I'm not quite sure how well suited the studio is to that. It remains to be seen how warm it's going to be here in the winter. But I think over the next few months I'm really keen to basically try this in quite a modest way. As if by divine providence, these casters have turned up. I say turned up, I found them in a skip, and which is ideal because one of the things which you can see from the studio is I opened it up so that I was able to basically use some of Gary's space and my space all together by moving this big chest here. And it just feels like the more stuff I can get on wheels, the better really, so that the space is endlessly reconfigurable. So yeah, I'm very pleased with those casters. A load of them are a bit beyond repair, but I'm going to see what I can. Hopefully, I'll get 4 good ones, and then that'll do, so that I can wheel that cupboard about with ease. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about the whole work and chronic fatigue syndrome business and why it's such a complicated one. It's taken me a long time to try and get my head round why it is so complicated, and where I've arrived at comes down to our nervous system and our 2 nervous systems, the sympathetic nervous system, which is your sort of fight or flight nervous system, and your parasympathetic, which is your rest and digest. And what I've realised is that if I can keep in the parasympathetic nervous system, basically I can feel pretty well and I can build up to quite a lot of activity. But on the other hand, if I get into the sympathetic system and I get into stressful situations, I can get back to square one really quickly and be in a pretty bad place. There are certain activities that I can do and surprise myself with how much I can do. Making art, doing woodworking, making videos. These sort of not too physically demanding activities with lots of flow, which I can really get into. I actually find that if I can focus on these and do them over time, by moving my focus away from feeling unwell to feeling productive and focused and fascinated, I can do really, I can feel really well and do a surprising amount. But obviously the stressful stuff is much more difficult and unsustainable, and I think that's really the kind of crux of where the question of work comes in, because where do you find work in this day and age, in this economy, which isn't heavily freighted with stress? Any work that I'm going to do, I have to find work which isn't going to just put me back into a boom and bust cycle of ill health. I've got to find something sustainable, but what is it? So today I'm actually sitting on board my friend Victor's narrowboat. As you will have seen, I've been doing a bit of woodwork on here, and actually this is perfect. I'm working for someone who really understands my condition. They're really relaxed about keeping my hours. I'm only 3 minutes from my house, and when I get here I can get into some quiet, flow orientated project that the time passes and I'm not wearing myself out. But yeah, I think for me that stressful versus restful tension is at the crux of why work is such a tricky nut to crack. Oh yeah, that is such an improvement. I'm very pleased with that. So yeah, I'm excited. I've put the details of some printmaking courses on my website, but as anyone who's ever wrangled with a chronic illness will know, there's a sort of excitement is always a bit somewhat tempered with anticipation and a slight anxiety about actually being able to do this stuff. And actually, this autumn, in my case, that's all the more compounded because I've just started a new treatment actually called the Perrin treatment, and the logic of this is that your lymphatic system has kind of ground to a halt with the illness, and this is basically a treatment over several months really to basically, as they say it, like stimulate lymphatic drainage, which all sort of makes quite good sense to me. They do a kind of diagnostic on you, and her analysis was that my lymphatic system isn't working very well, and that seems like, well, at the very least we can spend some time trying to get that working better. The actual treatment isn't unpleasant. If anything, it's quite nice. You go to an osteopath once a week and you get manipulated a bit, and then when you're at home you do a bit of sort of various sort of exercises. But the reason I'm telling you this is because normally you would think that undertaking treatment would make you feel better, but actually I've been warned that this will actually make me feel quite a lot worse. I think because basically your body is now dealing with all these toxins that have been sitting in your lymphatic system for a long time, so you're sort of a wash of toxins. And to be honest, so over the next few months I've got that to contend with. Yeah, I think I'm going to endeavour to do it, to treat myself quite gently and just see where it takes me. Anyway, on that note, I thought I think I'd better wrap it up, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.